Well, when I was younger, my family used to go to the beach every summer, and we would take ballroom classes. And there, we kind of fell in love with it, and we kept going back every summer to take the classes. And one year, the teacher, who we became friendly with, she said to me, "Why don't you just take classes at home?" And I guess it had never occurred to me. And since then, I started competing and getting a lot better at it, and it became kind of my full-time out-of-school activity. It makes me feel good on multiple levels. The music is wonderful, it's really fun to listen to. It's really great exercise, you're constantly in motion. It's a really nice way to meet people, explore different backgrounds and cultures, because each dance style comes from a different place. I started getting really interested, and I was inspired by it, and I wanted to keep doing it, pursuing it, and become very good at it. I had challenges with that because I think since I started maybe older than the typical young, really, really good dancer, that people didn't expect that I would want it as much as I did. I was with some old teachers, and some new teachers came into town, and I started taking with both sets of the teachers. And the teachers that I had when I first started were really nice people, but they didn't see how much I wanted it. And it was clear to me that they weren't pushing for me to succeed in that way. So as soon as I switched to the new teachers, I had a very different experience. I got better a lot faster, and it was part of me motivating myself to do better, but practicing extra and spending extra time doing it and looking up videos and doing all that I could to kind of absorb the knowledge. When I was with the new teachers, they were a lot harder on me, and I think it made me harder on myself. So rather than, if you can imagine, a social dance class where you're having fun and just learning steps and dancing with people, they were very particular about technique, and it was a very different environment. I also, part of what I did was I sought out different places that I could go to and teachers, and researched to see how I could get better on my own as well. And I had a coaching with a teacher in New York, and he asked me, "How do you make a great dancer?" So I'm sitting there racking my brain thinking, okay, well, good technique. No. I said, well, I've got to practice. Not really. And I couldn't really think of what the right answer was. So he said, no, you just have to desire it. And that was one of the motivating factors for me. It's about how much you want it and how much you can push for it. Drop the hip, back, forward. 1. You know, when you really want something and really desire it, it doesn't always happen right away. And I've worked really hard for dancing and for my education and all that I've tried for, and there's definitely times when it's not gone the way that I wanted. You know, I danced at a competition and I did poorly, or I got a bad grade, or I didn't get a job, or there's many times where, you know, I've tried very hard and it hasn't happened, and it's definitely very frustrating. When I have a setback, I think the most helpful thing is to call up my mom or one of my friends and just kind of tell them what's happened and, you know, see what their advice is. Because sometimes when you've been discouraged, you don't really realize, you know, that it's not the end of the world. It's something that you can just work past, and it might have been a bad day, but there's another option out there for you. When I came to college, I always have known that I wanted to work in anthropology, dance, and healthcare. When I was a sophomore in college, I got the opportunity to help start a dance class to improve the physical fitness of the Latinos in the local community. And so I designed this course that would use Latin dance styles that people were familiar with, and the course is mostly conducted in Spanish and Portuguese. I really want to do more with that kind of thing, looking at nutritional health and using people's cultural backgrounds to understand, you know, ways that we can better help them with their healthcare and make it fun.